Hello. You may be aware of the video that I recently did with Alison Boniface that Mark and Cora helped out with hugely by coming and videoing us and then editing the video and uploading it. Well, this video was based around Alison and I going to Kingdom Hall and talking about this letter here that we were recently made aware of, which is an instruction from the governing body to all congregations of elders to destroy documents by December 31st, 2015. Now, some people have heard of this before, but Alison and I hadn't, and we were utterly mortified. And we decided that we'd go into Kingdom Hall and discuss this with the elders, respectfully and politely, not going in and making a scene because you wouldn't get anywhere. Anyway, so what transpired from that was I happened to find out in the UK, this it applies to, the Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse have issued a letter from Justice Lowell Goddard, which specifically instructs all organisations, including religious organisations, not to destroy documents. So on the one hand, you've got the governing body letter that says destroy documents by December 31st, 2015. Doesn't say abuse documents, I'll make that clear. It says abuse documents must be held indefinitely. On the other hand, you've got a letter from the UK Independent Inquiry saying do not destroy documents. Now, the issue here is that I personally believe that although the Jehovah's Witness elders are not instructed to destroy abuse documents, this does happen anyway. So I've got this article here from last year, 2014, or maybe the year before now, which talks about how abuse documents were destroyed. Sorry, this one talks about how abuse documents were destroyed in the case of Mark Sewell, who just got 14 years in prison. There's also this article here, the one I showed you by accident a minute ago, which talks about the Australian Royal Inquiry, which also says that abuse documents were destroyed by Jehovah's Witness elders in over 1,000 cases. So although the witness letter, the governing body letter, is not specifically saying destroy abuse documents, that is happening anyway by accident. So the video that I've just put out was when me and Alison walked into Kingdom Hall and talked to the elders about this with varying degrees of success. However, I've come up with what I think is an even better plan for devolved activism, so anyone can do this. Nobody has to walk into a Kingdom Hall. Nobody has to feel nervous or wonder how they're going to do it. This is much easier, but I think potentially much more powerful. Now, here's the plan. Okay, so I will put the pack together of documents and letters, then you can get them off me. I don't think I can attach them to a YouTube video, can I? So you're going to have to contact me via Facebook. I'm Louise Good, and I've got my little picture is Frank Sidebottom. So you'll have to contact me to get hold of them. But you've seen in other videos, you know how to get hold of me. You know my email address, lougood@hotmail.com. Here's the plan. If you're in the UK, now this can be adapted for other countries, but the most powerful plan is for the UK. Here's the plan, right? So you get the letter from Justice Lowell Goddard and you put it in an envelope along with the governing body letter. Destroy documents, don't destroy documents. That's all you do. You look on the Charities Commission website for the local contact for your local Kingdom Hall. So what to do is type into Google, say if you're in, I don't know, Watford congregation, type in Watford Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses. And one of the returns will give you the charity number. You then go to the Charities Commission website, click on Find a Charity, type in that charity number, and it throws up the charitable details of the Watford congregation, or whichever congregation your local one is. And under that, there's some tabs down the left-hand side, and one says Contacts and Trustees. Now, every elder in the congregation is a trustee of the Jehovah's Witness charity, their congregation. And the contact will be the coordinator. So there'll be a name and an address that's a contact that you can then write to. So you get that name and address. So for me, it's, Now, I'm happy to show this on YouTube because it's freely available information. It's the contact for the local Jehovah's Witnesses of the Gloucester Kingdom Hall. So for me, I would send it to Mr. Chris Harris, the congregation coordinator, and that's the address that was given on the charity's website. This is public information, right? And I put in those 2 letters and I send it to him. Recorded delivery, so that he can't ever deny that he never got it. Recorded delivery. Okay, so that's that. I don't need to put a covering letter in saying, "Dear Chris, please read these letters. Dear Chris, I'm an apostate and I want you to read these." I don't need to do anything, because actually the letter from the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse is signed. It's signed and it says official on the bottom. And here's the great thing. When you fold this letter, if you put it into a small envelope that needs an ordinary stamp, when you fold it, the first thing that you see when you pull it out of the envelope is Justice Lowell Goddard and her signature and her title and the fact that it's official. This is not apostate. So if you were an elder receiving this and you pulled this out, you know that this isn't any kind of apostate scam to get you reading something that you shouldn't be reading. It's just a letter from the government. Okay. So you send that to your local elder, that's all well and good. Here's the powerful bit. This is the really important bit. You also send a letter to your local MP. I've drafted the letter. Your address, your local MP's address, dear your local MP, and this is what you say. I am writing to inform you, and I've bullet pointed it so it's easy to read, because you don't want to bore someone. MPs have got very, very little time. It's got to be quick. I'm writing to inform you, bullet point, all Jehovah's Witness congregations have received a letter from their governing body instructing them to destroy documents by the 31st of December 2015, attachment 1, and you enclose that letter. Bullet point, this has resulted in them destroying vital evidence in recent child sexual abuse court cases, attachment 2. And you enclose this. Bullet point. The independent inquiry on child sexual abuse chaired by Justice Lowell Goddard has issued a letter to all organisations and groups, including religious groups, instructing them not to destroy documents. Attachment 3. Letter from Justice Lowell Goddard. Bullet point. I have sent the IICSA letter, that's the independent inquiry, to the following Jehovah's Witness elders by registered post, and then you list the ones that you've sent it to. It might be that there's only one local one, in which case don't lay it out like that. I'm sending it to 3 because there are 3 local congregations in Gloucester, and I've named the name of the person, congregation coordinator. So mine says, I have sent the IICSA letter to the following Jehovah's Witness elders: Mr. Chris Harris, Congregation Coordinator, Gloucester King's Home Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, and then it'll say the other 2 as well. Then it says, I have copied you in on this information so that there is a record that the above named person has received the IICSA letter. Based on behaviour in child abuse court cases involving Jehovah's Witnesses, and based on the findings of the Australian Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse, Attachment 4, it is likely that Jehovah's Witnesses will destroy vital documents and that they will deny having received the IICSA letter instructing them not to destroy documents. Please would it be possible for you to keep this letter on file as a record of the information I have given you and the Jehovah's Witness elders. Yours faithfully, your actual real name. You can't use pseudonyms if you write into your MP. We're not playing games. So I think if lots and lots and lots of people did this, send the IICSA letter to the elders along with their governing body letter, send a letter to the MP saying that you've sent the letter to the elders, keep a copy of this yourself, and it'll be dated and signed by you. And then, because we don't know which congregations the independent inquiry are going to call upon for evidence, like in the Australian Royal Commission, they called upon a few case studies, didn't they? Well, if we have registered with lots and lots and lots of MPs that lots and lots of named coordinators of congregations have received that letter, and the MP's got a copy of the letter and we've got a copy of the letter, then they can't deny that they didn't know not to destroy documents. Now, I'm not pretending that the Jehovah's Witnesses are instructing them to destroy child abuse documents. I'm not muddling those issues up, I understand that. But we do know that they do destroy child abuse documents despite being told not to by the governing body. Okay, so they're told to destroy documents, they're told to keep child abuse documents confidential. But they either, well look, they either destroy them or they don't destroy them, but they lie in court about it. Because in these two cases, the 1006 Australian cases or the Mark Sewell case, and there are others, but you don't want to include too many letters in your letter. In these cases, they said that they had destroyed documents, so they'd gone against their own governing body instructions not to destroy abuse documents. Makes you wonder if being told to destroy documents makes them just destroy lots of things, doesn't it? It's confusing information to an elder, whereas being told by the government not to destroy any documents is not confusing. It's clear. Keep all the documents. Because we don't know what we're going to call on. So I would urge you in 2016, if you feel like doing a bit of armchair activism, to please contact me via Facebook or via my email at lougoode@hotmail.com, LOUGOODE@hotmail.com, and get a copy of all these documents, the MP's letter, the statutory inquiry letter, the governing body letter, and the two references to the newspaper articles that show that witnesses do destroy child abuse documents. And send one to your local elders and send one to your MP. And if we can get lots and lots of MPs aware that Jehovah's Witnesses are destroying documents right now on the 31st of December, yesterday, still, despite being instructed not to, I think that that is a shocking fact that people need to find out about. And what's really great about this is that we know what they're doing now. We know what the elders are doing now, but they know that we know, and I think that's a crucial difference. They know that we know, and that's a new aspect on this. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you feel that you might be empowered to do a little bit of armchair activism. You don't need to let the elders know your name. You just put in 2 letters in into an envelope, so they don't know who sent that. They probably think it's come straight from Justice Lowell Goddard, because it has. It has come from her. It's signed from her. It says to religious organisations at the top, and it's straight from there. So the elders don't need to know that you've done this, but your MP does need to know your name, okay? Because MPs can only deal with constituents in their area. So you couldn't write, say if you lived in one area and your old congregation was in another area, you couldn't write to that MP there because you're not in his constituency. It has to be the MP of the area that you live in, and therefore I would suggest the Kingdom Hall of the area that you live in that's in that same constituency. And then your MP will just keep a copy of that, and if it ever comes up in the future, those elders cannot deny that they've had that letter because we've sent it recorded delivery. Thank you very much.